Good evening. Good evening. I would like to call the Monday, August 19th Dalton City Council meeting to order. Mr. Lama will lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Notice there are a few people from the public here this evening. If you wish to address the council during public commentary, there are comment cards in the back. Please, I do have one, but if there are any others, please take this opportunity to fill one of those out. At this time, a quorum is recognized, and I'll ask for an approval of the agenda.
So moved. Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, at this time, public commentary. I have one card, Madeline Smith. Ms. Smith, good evening. If you will utilize the microphone just so that we can record for the record, and if you will state your name and address, please, ma'am, for the record, that would be helpful.
Okay, my name's Madeline Smith. My address is 2142 Utility Road, Rocky Face, Georgia.
And if you will just make an effort to keep your comments to around 5 minutes, that would be helpful. I'm not going to cut you off if you're in the middle of a thought, but
Okay, I brought visual aids.
yeah, you're welcome to hand those out.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
Charles may want one from the paper.
About the tax assessment that recently happened. I was just wondering, have any of you ever heard of Hanlon's razor? It's an old adage. It says never attribute to malice that which is adequately explained by stupidity. All right, let's start. Consistency. You would think our tax digest should have consistency. If you will all look on the first page, you'll see I've highlighted this area on East Morris Street has 0.26 acres. If you turn the page, it says land value, $85,000. Okay. If you turn the next page, 0.2 acres, 0.28 acres. Also valued at $85,000. It's right next door on East Morris. If we go down the road a little bit, less than a minute, 0.4 acres. Also valued at $85,000. All right, and then if we go down to 1117 East Morris Street, we have 1.14 acres. Valued at $48,450. Okay, I'm not great at math. Maybe somebody else understands that better than me. All right, how about fair market value? According to Georgia Code 48-5-1, they're supposed to use fair market value in their assessments of our properties. Okay. If you look on your blue tab, we have a house on North Tibbs Road. Sold in 2017 for $210,000. It was not valued at that until 2023. State law requires properties be assessed within a 40% value of their actual sale price. Okay, well, it got there eventually, 6 years after the fact. All right, go over to your green tab. Now we have a house on Englewood Lane. At the very end of 2021, it sold at $225,700. In 2022, it was assessed at $134,000. That's exactly 60% of the sale price. I know a lot of us would love to get 40% off of our taxes, just at the discretion of the tax assessor's office. Now I'd like you to flip over to the next page. That house is owned by Jonathan Hayes. Now, this may be a conflict of interest because if you look down at the highlighted area, his staff contacts for the appraisal of his own property, he is his own staff contact. Now, he is the real estate manager for the tax assessors. We happen to have 6 full-time residential appraisers. He is not one of them, but somehow he is his own staff contact and has been for the last 3 years. I didn't know you could do that, but once again, I'm no expert in this. All right, if you skip over to your yellow tab, we have Christopher Blessing. And this is fun. You'll enjoy this when I tell you what he does. Now, for some of you that don't know, in Georgia, your appraised taxes are 100% of the value, but you only pay taxes on 40% of that. If you look at his tax account, his taxes, 100% of the appraised value was $222,000. If you look down at the highlighted area, he paid taxes on that minus his homestead exemption. He should have paid taxes only on $89,000. Keep going. This happened year after year, except in 2024, we managed to get the right numbers in the right boxes, except we didn't do the math correctly. He was still paying taxes on 100% of his appraised value, unless he appealed it, which I have no access to. This is all public record. But that, by my estimation, is they're overcharging him $1,400. That's one house in Whitfield County being overcharged $1,400. And can you guess what Christopher Blessing does for the tax assessor's office? He does quality assurance. I'm not kidding. It's not funny. All right, and now if you skip over to your red tab, some of you know I spoke Monday at the commissioners meeting, but I decided to add a little something special for you guys. Let's talk about one company that does not need any extra money, Walmart. They don't need any extra money from anybody, right? Okay, well, when they sold the land on, hang on, let me see. Okay, this is the one on East Walnut Avenue. In 2022, it was appraised at $9 million and some change. 2023, that dropped to 8.9 million. This year, it's dropped to 7.4 million, in spite of near constant improvements done to the building. I'm not a tax assessor, I can't explain that. But somehow it has made their taxes drop from $120,000 in 2022 to $82,000 this year. That's a big jump. I don't know whose taxes have to go up to cover that, but I'm guessing it's residential. All right, now here's a really fun one. Shugart Road Walmart. In 2003, it sold, the vacant land sold for $7.7 million. This year, the land was somehow evaluated at $2.2 million. I thought when you put something on it, it went up in value. I may be confused, but that has dropped. Their taxes have also dropped around $2 million. Unfortunately, also like Chris Blessing, Quality Assurance, they've been paying taxes unless they've appealed them, which I have no access to, but they have been getting a tax bill for 100% of the appraised value of the property instead of the 40% they should have been getting. Now, by my math, that's $189,000 and some change over 3 years that they've been overpaying. That's kind of a big problem. Or at least I would think so. 6 figures, if I messed up 6-figure wise at my job, I'd be buried somewhere. And I just want to quote from you what Gail Knowles, the interim chairwoman of the Board of Assessors, said to the Daily Citizen News. We have established a digest that maintains uniformity and a lack of bias which is a vast improvement from the 2023 digest. Hanlon's razor, is it malice or stupidity? I don't know. Maybe someone smarter than me can find out. I spent almost an entire day on the phone with Atlanta trying to figure out who to report this to. They told me to go talk to my Board of Commissioners. I did. I was blown off. Maybe you all can do something I can't and they won't. Thank you. That's it.
Thank
Any
you, Ms.
questions or anything?
I did have you may not know, but the city, if any of these properties are in the city, we do tax on 100%. That's why our millage is so much lower than the county. But I don't know if any of these properties that you said were being taxed at 100% were in the city or not.
Well, from what the guy at the state told me, that's not, that Georgia only taxes on the 40% assessed value.
Except some cities do tax at a different level. We're one of them.
Uh-huh. Well, I've made mistakes
But I don't know
before.
if they
I'll
were in
make
the
them
city
again.
or not.
Yeah, some of them are, some of them aren't.
Right. I'm sorry.
Anybody else? Ms. Smith, thank
Mhm.
you for coming and sharing this information. The city has posted and released a statement. I believe it's on our social media page. If you would like to refer to it, and I'll just pull out one statement from that. And this was covered in Charles Oliver's article in not this past Saturday, but the previous Saturday that it ran. And you may have read that and others may or may not have. You can certainly go online and read it. That we are extremely concerned about the known errors that exist
Yes.
in this digest. And we insist that it be corrected through whatever methods, routes that statute allows for that to occur, that we
Mhm.
insist that it occur. So thank you for coming and speaking tonight and
Certainly.
appreciate
Thank you
your
for having me.
participation. Thanks. Is there any other public commentary? Seeing none, we'll move on to our next item, which is any presentations by department heads.
There are none this
Okay.
evening, Madam Mayor.
All right. Proclamations. It is my pleasure. I'm going to come down front, and this is during Constitution Week, which will take place September 17th through the 23rd. But we're going to go ahead and do our proclamation early. So I'm going to come down. Let me go ahead and sign. You want to come over? Got to use the microphone and then we'll get a picture with Bruce if that's okay. Good evening and thank you so much for being here. In honor of Constitution Week, whereas September 17th, 2024 marks the 237th anniversary of the drafting of the Constitution of the United States of America by the Constitutional Convention, and whereas every anniversary of the Constitution provides a historic opportunity for all Americans to learn about and to reflect upon the rights and privileges of citizenship and its responsibilities. And whereas it is fitting and proper to accord official recognition to this magnificent document and its memorable anniversary, and to the patriotic celebrations which will commemorate it. And whereas Public Law 915 guarantees the issuing of a proclamation each year by the President of the United States of America designating September 17th through the 23rd as Constitution Week. Now therefore be it resolved, I, Annalise Sams, Mayor of the City of Dalton, Georgia, hereby proclaim the week of September 17th through the 23rd, 2024 as Constitution Week, and urge all citizens to study the Constitution and reflect on the privilege of being an American with all the rights and responsibilities which that privilege involves. Thank you so much. Let's go stand right over here and do a picture for Bruce. We'll try and move on ahead. It's a little warm in here. Council members, you have before you minutes of the mayor and council work session of August 5th, 2024. Are there any corrections? If not, I'll ask for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 4, you have before you mayor and council minutes of the August 5th, 2024 meeting. If there are no corrections, I'll ask for a motion to approve.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 5, under unfinished business. The second reading of ordinance 24-21, the request of Nancy and Dagoberto Hernandez to rezone from heavy manufacturing M2 to general commercial C2, a tract of land totaling 0.71 acres located at 417 Sheridan Avenue, Dalton, Georgia, parcel 12-241-13-006.
Madam Mayor, Mr. Pangle and I were made aware that Ethan Calhoun nor Gene Garland could be at the meeting this evening. And so we have a couple of options. Gene, as you will recall, presented these unfinished ordinance, the first readings at the last meeting. I'll be happy to go over these again. There are, I think, 6 total planning commission items. I've conferred with the city attorney and I can present them if the council wishes to take these up, or we can table them until a time that either Ethan or Gene could be here.
Since these are second readings and they were presented by Gene last time, are you all comfortable with hearing those from Andrew? I'm comfortable. If you can, please tell us what the staff recommendations.
Yes,
were.
if you'll bear with me, I'll go through and make sure.
All right, then we will proceed. So item number 5, Andrew, if you'll go.
Yes, so this was a request of Mr. and Mrs. Hernandez at 417 Sheridan Avenue to go from heavy manufacturing M2, which is the purple color on the screen, to general commercial C2, which is red on the screen. Again, I've confirmed in the meeting agenda packet that both the staff and the planning commission recommended approval, and it came with a unanimous 4-0 vote of approval from the planning commission to approve.
Any questions? Okay, I'll ask for a motion.
I move we approve.
Have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item number 6, second reading ordinance 24-22, the request of Teresa Acevedo to rezone from medium density single family residential R3 to high density residential R7, a tract of land totaling 0.4 acres located at 407 Sassafras Street, Dalton, Georgia, parcel 12-180-01-024.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Again, 407 Sassafras Street. The request was to go from R3, which is the dark green that you see on the screen, to R7. And this one at the Planning Commission, both the staff recommended denial. There was public opposition at the Planning Commission, citing the size of the lot and the fact that the proposed rezoning was inconsistent with the R3 surrounding this particular tract. And the Planning Commission voted to deny the rezoning with a 4-0 unanimous vote. So in this case, we would suggest that the council make a motion to deny the rezoning request from R3 to R7.
Does anyone have any questions of Andrew?
Madam Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I'm been long familiar with this street. It definitely has a residential, single family feel to it. I would move that we deny it.
I have a motion to deny. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Not all in favor of denial?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that item number 6 is denied. Item number 7, second reading ordinance 24-23, the request of Velke Reyes to rezone from heavy manufacturing M2 to rural residential R5, attractive land totaling 0.21 acres located at 512 Abigail Street, Dalton, Georgia, parcel 12-218-07-008.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Again, this is another going from heavy manufacturing to rural residential, which the manufacturing is the purple on the screen, and I believe the legend was left off, but the R5, I believe, is attached to the dark green that you see. So you see this parcel is requesting to go from a more intensive zone district to a less intensive zone district. Looking at the notes from the Planning Commission, the staff provided a recommendation to approve, and the Planning Commission voted favorably to approve the rezoning unanimously 4-0.
Have any questions? If not, I'll ask for a motion.
So move.
Have a motion to have a second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Item number 8, second reading ordinance 24-24, the request of Manny David to rezone from rural residential R5 to transitional commercial C4, attractive land totaling 0.19 acres located on Francis Street, Dalton, Georgia, parcel 12-258-02-102.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. If you recall from Ms. Garland's presentation, this particular lot was requesting, the property owner was requesting to go from R5 to C4 because the lot had been historically utilized for commercial purposes. And the Planning Commission notes that the applicant made this request to try to get the property back into conformity with the zoning code. I don't know that they realized that the lot was actually zone R5 instead of C4. So the staff provided a recommendation for approval, and in the Planning Commission meeting, the Planning Commission had a unanimous recommendation 4-0 to approve the rezoning request.
Any questions of Andrew? If not, I'll ask for a motion.
So move.
Have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? All right, item number 9. Second reading ordinance 24-25, the request of JFP Properties Group LLC to rezone from medium density, single family residential R3 to rural residential R5, attractive land totaling 0.26 acres located on 702 Northview Drive, Dalton, Georgia, parcel 12-201-01-060.
This one is a little bit more complicated, Mayor and Council. As you can see on the screen, the petitioner is requesting to go from R3, which is the green, to rural residential, which is a color that's not even shown on this drawing. As you can see, everything in the subdivision off of Underwood Street is entirely R3. But as you'll see in the notes, the staff made a recommendation to deny, citing it was that the proposed rezoning would conflict with the established pattern of zoning and development in the area. And the petitioner was wanting to construct a duplex on this property, and which would be inconsistent with the other single family homes within the subdivision. And the staff cited that the R5 zone district was a poor fit for the subject property based on the town neighborhood revitalization character areas in the comprehensive plan. As you can see from the notes, the Planning Commission overruled the staff, and they had a unanimous recommendation to approve the rezoning 4-0. Again, that was in conflict with what the staff recommended at the meeting.
Questions, Andrew? Okay, if not, I'll ask for a motion on this property.
I got motion to deny.
I have a motion to deny.
Second.
I have a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Item 10 is denied. Excuse me, item 9 is denied. Okay, last item, zoning number 10, second reading ordinance 24-26, the request of Alejandro Martinez Lopez and Nayeli Alvarez to annex attractive land zoned medium density, single family residential R3 totaling 0.17 acres located at 1218 Fraser Drive into the city of Dalton, parcel 12-179-02-052.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As you may recall from Ms. Garland's presentation, this is, I believe, the seventh or eighth annexation request of the new homes that were constructed a few years ago on Fraser Drive. This is, actually, there was one that you all approved at the last meeting. So this would be, just again, another annexation of the parcels. And as you requested at the last meeting, we're currently going back to look. At one time, we had sent voluntary annexation request letters to these residents. And that may be why some of these are coming in today. But we'll go back and make sure that everybody has received a letter that, that is in the new homes, and to determine whether or not they want to be annexed into the city of Dalton. But the staff provided a recommendation to approve, and the planning commission approved the recommendation unanimously.
Any questions? Okay. Not, I'll ask for a motion.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Andrew, can you do you know if y'all are sending in Spanish also, those letters?
I'm not sure, council member. I'll check, and if we haven't, we will resend it English and in Spanish.
All right, thank you.
Okay, new business. Item 11, GDOT tentative allocation of state funds for taxiway resurfacing at airport. Andrew?
Madam Mayor and Council, I have here a tentative allocation from Georgia Department of Transportation for $2,525,000 at a 75% grant, which requires a 25% local match in the amount of $841,667 for the taxiway rehabilitation at the airport. I just want to mention this is quite significant. It's something that we've been working very hard to lobby for. The state just a few years ago in 2021, the status quo for state airport aid funding was about 16 million per year. And as it says in this TA letter, this year's apportionment was 98 million. We've worked very hard to lobby for an increase to the airport aid program in Georgia. And that resulted in increases from 2022 through 24. In 2022, we got it up to 35 million. In 2023, we had it at 44. And this year we got it up to 98 million. So it's very exciting to see the General Assembly and the governor are supporting airports in the state. They recognize the economic impact that these provide, and are investing in our airports. Just for your knowledge, the annual federal share for our 103 airports in the state is about $40 to $50 million a year. So we doubled that with the state airport aid program this year, which is very exciting. So I just wanted to give you that background. This is not something that happens very often. So it's exciting to take advantage of it, and to be a part of airports being invested in the state of Georgia. So I'll take any questions on this project.
Mr. Andrew Parker, do you have anything to add about the matching and from a budget
Yes.
standpoint, the availability of these funds?
Yes, so as you'll see on the PowerPoint notes, I've discussed the project with Mr. Wiersma, and the funds will not actually be expended until next calendar year. So we will account for the local match in the 2025 budget document that we're currently working on for next year. So it will be listed as an expenditure in the 2025 city budget. We must act on this in order to receive the funds by September 1st. And we're optimistic, given the fact that the bids for the runway resurfacing project they came in under budget. that some of those savings will be able to be rolled over into this project, whereby reducing this local match impact significantly. But as Mr. Wiersma said, it's pretty exciting from the standpoint that most of this pavement at the airport is, prior to some of the recent runway resurfacing and ramp rehab, is in the age of about 30 years. So to the fact that once these projects are complete next year, we'll have most of the asphalt completely rehabilitated, should serve the city for many decades to come.
Is any of our funding allocated dollars eligible to utilize for this?
I'm
Any of
sorry,
our
could you-
paving money, is it eligible for this?
We would have to go back and look at the language to make sure, but it's possible that either SPOSS or bond proceeds could be utilized for this. Come to think of it, I think airport projects may have been one of the bond eligible expenditures, but we'll have to look back and confirm that. Certainly, it would be our goal to minimize any impact to the general fund to the best of our ability.
When would we be due for, just so we can weigh if we miss this opportunity, what would we be looking at for cost at a later point to do this same work?
The next available option would be to get federal discretionary money, which is what we got for the runway. And that is something that doesn't come along very often because that's a national pot of discretionary funds. So we were very fortunate to get that for our runway this year. So there's really no telling when we would get that for the taxiway if we were to pass upon this opportunity.
Does anyone have any questions of Andrew Wiermsa or Parker?
And I think you did do a proxy vote of the airport authority, and they provided a positive recommendation.
That's correct. Yes.
Anybody have any other questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 11, purchase agreement for the Sutphen Heavy Duty 100-foot mid-mount aerial platform fire apparatus.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Council. This contract is a 2024 SPLOSH approved purchase of a new Sutphen heavy duty 100-foot mid-mount aerial platform. This will replace our current 2013 Sutphen 100-foot mid-mount aerial platform, which is utilized as one of our first out apparatuses and will keep us within our fleet maintenance program. This contract is with the Sutphen Corporation, purchasing through the Sourcewell Cooperative Purchasing Contract. The delivery time for this apparatus will be 34 to 36 months and will be paid upon delivery. The estimated delivery will be approximately October or November of 2027. I would like to point out by signing this contract that we're heading off a possible 2 to 3% increase in September or October of $44,000 to $66,000. Also, by signing this contract, we're saving an estimated $350,000 over the period of the build time. This has been reviewed by the city attorney and has a favorable recommendation from the Public Safety Commission. And at this time, I would ask if you have any questions, and if not, would ask for approval of the purchasing agreement.
Does anyone have any questions of Chief Daniel? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I have a question.
Oh, yes, sir.
So on your lead time right now, is there any way we can get it within, let's just say 24 months?
So with the lead time, what we have experienced is pre-COVID and all the apparatus requests from other jurisdictions that time is out there for approximately like the 34 to 36 months. There's just that many requests for fire trucks being built right now. During the COVID time, some of the shifts had dropped down from like 2 shifts to 1 shifts. And they got extremely behind on their manufacturing of the trucks.
Any other questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
A motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Not all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thanks, chief.
Thank you.
All right, item number 13, temporary construction easements for 707 Valley Drive, 705 Valley Drive, and 704 South Thornton Avenue.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This request is to execute the temporary construction easements to complete the scope of work within the properties residing along the Valley Drive Channel Stabilization Project. The properties within the agenda request include 707 and 705 Valley Drive, as well as 704 South Thornton Avenue. The completion time for each property varies based upon the scope of work being performed at each respective location. With that, I'll take any questions.
Does anyone have any questions of Chad? Not, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
All right. Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you, Chad.
Thank you.
Item number 14, John Davis Recreation Center Project Change Order number 1.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Mayor and Council. We briefly touched on this in today's Finance Committee meeting. We did have a change order to memorialize some final plan changes right after we awarded the project to Felker Construction. As you know, we have a guaranteed maximum price contract with them, but any scope changes are obviously not included in that guaranteed maximum price. The total cost of the change order is $134,174. The biggest expenditure within that amount was a water quality unit that was required in order to obtain the stormwater management permit for the site. So that represented a little bit over $60,000. There were also some changes that resulted from the IT department working with the designers to make some minor modifications to the low voltage plan. And one other change that we wanted to include, as you know, following the pandemic, it's become common practice to, when you're putting in new HVAC units, to add the bipolar ionization to remove potential pathogens from the air recirculation. This was about a $19,000 change order, and you might recall the county, I believe, put them in most of their facilities using some of their ARPA funds. So we wanted, since this was a new facility that will be serving the community for a long time, to go ahead and add those ionization components to have the most supreme air quality. As we discussed in the Finance Committee meeting, we had reserved between $400,000 and $500,000 in the budget for project contingency. So this will come from that project contingency, and we're hopeful that any future change orders will be minimized. Obviously, a project of this scope, things may come up, but as you can see from the photo, the contractor's coming out of the ground now. The geotechnical contract engineer has approved the pads for vertical construction, and so we didn't really run into many issues there. There was some remediation, but nothing too extensive. So again, the $134,000 will come out of the project contingency that's already built in, and no budget amendment will be required.
Questions? If not, I'll ask for a motion.
Move we approve change order.
Motion, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. There is no supplemental business before this council. Announcements: the City of Dalton will hold a public information meeting to discuss proposed changes to the city's alcoholic beverage ordinance. The meeting will be held in the City Council Chamber at City Hall on Monday, August 26th, a week from today, at 1 p.m. Additional announcement that city offices will be closed for Labor Day on Monday, September 2nd, 2024. The next city council meeting will be held Tuesday, September 3rd, 2024. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? We are adjourned. Thank you.